Hello guys, and welcome back to a new video. From today I'm going to make new type of content where I'm going to play the tournaments, and after every round I'm gonna make the recaps. So basically I'm gonna be updated every day about my games, if you're interested of course. And they're gonna be live boards where you can watch on chess.com, Chess broadcast. So I'm gonna put the links down below, so you can open up and watch the games. The games are starting today at 5 p.m. Central European time. But anyway, you're gonna be updated after the game with my daily analysis recaps. First round, I'm favorite and mostly playing against someone who is 1700, so the game not gonna be easy at all. Today everyone playing really good, especially in the opening. Everyone knows the theory perfectly well, so I'm gonna have a big challenge in the first round. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You can see some beautiful view behind me, interesting buildings, modern architecture. So yeah, that's basically it for this introduction, and see you later on the recap of the game. Welcome to the recap of the first round. Despite losing the game, I still decided to make this video, even though it's a little bit embarrassing for me to show this game and how I blunder. I didn't blunder because I missed some tactic from my opponent. I blundered because I miscalculate something I didn't calculate till the end. And also I choose the risky option instead of just picking the most practical decision and just continue with pawn up. But I was greedy, honestly, and it was not enough for me in that moment. I wanted to win immediately for some reason, which is not good mindset, you know. So in chess you cannot rush, you cannot go and play after your opponent's mistakes, because maybe they're not gonna make mistakes. Like literally my opponent, after my blunder, he played perfectly well, like, you know, some grandmaster, like I couldn't do anything. But before that I was definitely winning from the opening. So let's go to see what happens in the game. So my opponent played d4, I played knight f6, c4, everything is standard. He played knight f3, I decided to go with d5, and he played a Catalan g3. So this is very famous opening, as you know. I played standard move bishop e7, and after bishop g2 I decided, as a first round on the tournament, I decided to surprise my opponent, because we both didn't have time to prepare for the game, and I definitely knew that he wouldn't be able to understand what is behind this move knight e4. So this is really tricky idea. This is first played, I think, in the game Richard Rapport was playing. And after knight e4, the main idea is to play f5 and to build up the Stonewall system. But as you see, I didn't play move c6, which is marking from the beginning the Stonewall system. Anyway, if you're not really familiar with anything of this, you're gonna see how this looks like in the game. My opponent played queen c2, a lot of people are just castling here, and I played f5. So what is my idea? I'm waiting to see how my opponent is going to develop his pieces. Usually a lot of people are just castling and going b3 and bishop to a3. What is the idea? The idea is to trade my good bishop, which is perfectly well coordinated with these light square pawns. That's why they're trading and not developing the knight. And the other idea is to play knight c3, and then after knight c3 trying to put some pressure on d5, and that's actually the best plan for white, where I have actually to translate into the Stonewall system, which is something I pretty much understand. We wanna make the kingside attack anyway. So my opponent didn't play knight c3 here. He played c5. So this move is literally the worst move in the position, beside other blunder moves such as giving up the piece. This is strategically bad, and I understand it in a second that I'm gonna just have the easy game, and I underestimated the situation later on the board, but actually I had a very easy opening. I played it really fast, knight c6. So now there is no point anymore to play c6, because now knight c6 is perfectly coordinated and intending to put some pressure here. On the other hand, I want to play knight to b4 maybe in some cases, so this queen is now very very lost on c2 square. So my opponent logically played move a3, which is I like. I played bishop f6, now improving this bishop where you're just focusing on this target here. And after the move e3, as you see here, the king side is alone. There is no more connection with these diagonals, especially because in these lines, bishop f4 is always useful to control e5. Now when this bishop is closed, it's really tough for white to face later h5, g5, h4 and something like that. I'm just waiting for my opponent to castle. So I'm not still deciding to play h5. I also don't want to castle myself because on the other hand, I want to keep my rook on h8. So I'm playing very good prophylactical move, a5, just to stop their operations on the queen side, the counterplay, and also waiting what they're gonna do. Because here, if they play knight c3, I'm gonna still wait with the move bishop d7. Anyway, in the future, even if I castle, this bishop is useful to rotate on the other side of the board with bishop e8, bishop h5, and trying to put additional pressure on this knight on f3. Not just that, like this bishop is bad, we understand it. In Stonewall system, we have very poor bishop, and usually this bishop is good to trade due to the close position. Knights are more flexible, so bishop pair is not so much important as in the open positions. But my opponent decided to castles immediately, and I just took a chance of launching my h5. I don't need to prepare anything. I have enough pieces. Knight on e4, bishop on f6, rook on h8. Here is the queen, here is the knight. So this is perfectly well coordinated, where my opponent is literally suffering to continue the game later. You're gonna see what happens. Knight c3, controlling something in the center, but desperately seeking for normal development. I'm just launching h4. And now, if they take or something, that could be a problem because it's literally opening up the line. So after take, this is something I want. Now my queen will come to the game, easily put some pressure on h line. I mean, taking here is just bad. Like, I'm gonna retake with my queen, and maybe in the next moves they can even resign because checkmate is coming very soon. I didn't mention that, for example, here on any kind of h4 move, which looks very logical, we have always g5, where white can still resign, because if they capture, we just capture back, and if they trade everything, we still come with the queen there, h5 is on the way, g line will be open. I can even go bishop d7, move the king, and put the other rook to the game. We have so powerful position. We don't even need to castle. Like, our king is very safe in the center. So all these lines are very bad for white. That's why he understands that he can't touch any pawn on the king side. Otherwise, my plan is very fast. So that's why they try to develop. Play knight c3. I played h4. Anyway, they played rook b1 in order to push b4 and support it. And that's also why a5 is good, because I make them lose the time on this move b4, and if they push it, I'm gonna also open up my rook. My rook on a8 will get open line, which is also useful if I need in future to get something from the queen side to the king side. g5, I'm intending to push g4, so my attack is much faster, and white is desperately seeking for some counterplay. So I included this take because, as you see, now my rook is open, and maybe it's going to be useful in future, of course, why not? And now I took on g3, so why I took immediately, why I didn't play g4, it's because I'm more flexible. I'm trying to see how they're going to retake. My moves are anyway g4 and h takes g4, but with this I'm trying to see, will he take with h pawn or f pawn, depending on him. Honestly, I prefer them to take with f pawn, like actually happened in the game, because then these pawns are soft and there is a bunch of sacrifices after I kick the knight, which actually happened in the game with knight takes d4. My opponent saw what I probably want to do, that's why he captured my knight, but in case of moving the knight away, like knight to d2, you can pause the video and try to find the best tactic for black here. If you found knight takes d4, then this is brilliant, because after this move, my opponent can resign. What is the main idea? In case of they capture, I capture back with my bishop, give the check, and if they move the king away, that's checkmate. Smoother mate, actually, because pawn is pinned and bishop is covering this diagonal, so that's over. In case of putting the rook here, we can just capture with check, and this is also very desperate for them. We're gonna have rook for knight plus a lot of pawns plus the straight center, and like it's just winning. Also the knight on c3 is lost after that, so yeah, we're just winning. So that's why if they move the queen or something, that's also very bad. We can just take here, and if they take back, we again have some discovery with knight c3. So this is also very bad for them. Like we are just winning a lot of material. So that's why my opponent didn't move the knight. He saw it. He played knight takes e4. I didn't want to capture here because they have very good intermezzo. If this intermezzo is not coming with check, then I would definitely be able to play this, because now my next move will be taking here, and when they retake back, I'm gonna retake the knight. But because knight is giving a check to our king, I need firstly to take the knight, and then after they take back, I'm having pawn down here, open 2 lines, but this position is very good for me. Anyway, I didn't want to enter this because pawn down can be good for them in future in the defense, so I just saw very easy idea of playing after knight takes e4, just d takes e4, and that's very enough. Now if they go back, I still have some sacrifices on d4 maybe, or I can even prepare it. This bishop is closed, h line is open. My position is so safe that I can even castle and focus on queen side. Like that's how my bishop is, my position is powerful. But my opponent played 95, and here comes now the questions. What happened here? So why I played the move 94, and why this move is not good, you're gonna see in a moment. But the simplest way of playing here is just to take on e5, either way, with knight or bishop. So basically, we are just much better after that. Like if I take with knight, they take back with pawn, I take back with bishop. I just want a pawn, which is okay, not healthy pawn. It's a double pawn, but this double pawn is actually making a lot of stability on the king side. This bishop is dead. I can castle, focus on 2 lines, open line for my rook. I can develop my bishop somewhere like this, put a queen on f6 or g5. They have a weakness on e3. So this is a perfect position, and it's very natural to play. Also, I can take with bishop, and after that play this position. Just, you know, keep the knight on the board, threatening maybe to take in future, still develop the attack, putting pressure here. I can also regroup my knight from e7 to d5. Everything is literally possible. And after that, I just have like so big advantage. So in this case, we are definitely good. But I also thought that knight takes d4 is a good move and definitely gaining something, but it's apparently miscalculation and blunder. You're gonna see now in a moment why is this a blunder. It looks very natural that after take and check, I'm just getting 2 pawns and piece back, and white can literally resign after that. Of course, after king h1, queen takes e5, bishop e2 doesn't work because I have queen takes g3. And now, due to this pin, threat of checkmate, they can't take our bishop. That was my whole point. I'm winning here and they can just resign. So the next move, I'm gonna exchange the bishop. I can also play rook a2, and I'm just so winning. But the problem is rook f2, which I also saw, of course, but after e3, I didn't saw the move rook e2, which is so natural. I thought that my opponent will capture here on e3 with bishop, and then I'm gonna capture bishop or knight or something. Or that they can play rook f4, where I found a really nice move e2, check, sacrificing the queen. The only move, of course, is to take my queen now, and then after promoting another queen, give a check, bishop f1 is the only move. I'm gonna just recapture on e5, I'm pawn up, and also their king is still not safe. So I was calculating this, I was very glad that I see it till this moment. But after e3, unfortunately, rook e2 is literally normal move, logical move, which I completely miss. You know, it happens. So now I can't take on e5 either way, because bishop e2. In this moment, my queen is even trapped. Like, my queen cannot go anywhere, as you see. This bishop is controlling this diagonal, this bishop this diagonal, pawn this and pawn this, and my queen can't go anywhere. I cannot capture bishop. I'm not getting anything from that. If I capture back with the bishop here, and after bishop b2, unfortunately I don't have queen d5 or queen e4 because there is a bishop. I can't stand with my bishop. I need to give it up. If I try some tactics with rook a2, doesn't work. They just get piece again. If I take, they take, and the problem is rook here. If my rook is on h7, then I can go with this. And after take, this is desperate. They're gonna just play bishop d4, king f1, kick my rook, collect this pawn, and yeah, I have maybe little compensation, but if I have already connected pawns, that will be compensation. But because my pawns are not connected and it's really hard to push, on the other side I can't do anything. My bishop is undeveloped, and this is just losing for black. So both moves are really bad, bishop e5 and queen e5. So I decided to place to rely on some hope to play rook a1 here. My opponent take, I take back, so I'm playing with piece down, but at least trying to do something here. I was relying on some tactics, still with something here, f4, bishop can come in the game or something, but it's just, desperately seeking for some, tricks. My opponent really played well after that, after the move rook f2, rook e2, which he did here. He was playing so well later that I couldn't do anything. So after queen takes a1 and knight c4, I played bishop d4 in order to protect this pawn here more, but he played perfect move bishop f1, protecting the last rank, so the pin is not anymore working. I played e5, trying to get out with my bishop here. He just took. I played bishop e3. Like he could I think also take, I'm not sure, but like he can do anything here. I was trying to do something here with this move because I don't want to trade. I have piece down, so when you are worse, you don't want to trade pieces. After this move, I'm threatening one tactic which is very obvious, e4, moving the queen away from the knight and then capturing the knight. This is really obvious, so of course my opponent saw it. He played rook c2, very good move. Like it's not really giving up the pawn because my bishop is now of the game. Like this bishop is not good here. Also he can't go anywhere more. He played queen b3, and now my bishop is desperate here. I also can't play bishop e1 now because of rook c1. In this case, I was looking for move queen to e1 here, and if my opponent plays the move rook c1 to take here. So my point is very, very clear. If they take back with queen, I will take on e3 with fork, and also just counterplay. In this way, I'm gonna regain the piece. They can't take with bishop after bishop takes e4 because of pin. So the only move is actually to take here. If they take my queen, I'm gonna take their queen, and I'm back in the game. That's very simple. On the other hand, if they take back with rook, that's of course what I want. And here in this case, I'm gonna try something definitely, because maybe I can play bishop d2 here, or maybe I can try something else. Like, this is still losing, of course, for black, but at least I can try something than what happened in the game. So I played f4. The reason why also I didn't win queen e1, I didn't like after rook c1, bishop takes, queen a5 check, queen a4 check. So now the problem is queen is getting out of the way, and if I just move my king, they're gonna just capture my queen. So here, if I play c6, this will happen. If I play b5, they can MPSN, and it's still gonna be check. So I think bishop b5 is the only move. Still bishop can capture because queen is pinned the bishop. And after queen takes here, I have c6. But still this is not enough. Of course, if they take here, I have this capture, and then I can regain some piece. But a problem is just very easy move queen e2, just bringing the queen back, offering a trade, and now my queen is kind of trapped. Also, I think queen d3 is even much more winning, because now my queen is trapped and I cannot put my queen anywhere, and I'm just losing the game. So that's why I didn't want to play this move, but it was good looking to me. Obviously, when you're losing, you're just always seeking for some interesting counterplay. Here I played the move f4 in hope of maybe taking everything here, trying to open up the king, but this is just, you know, desperately searching for everything. My opponent played this really nice move, like which is literally so good that now there is a threat of queen and there is a threat of this, and here just everything started falling in water. I was relying on one last trick after I played queen to e3, queen to e1. I was looking if they're gonna take my rook or something, where I can build up some counterplay with bishop takes, pawn takes e3, and in this moment I was looking for some bishop takes e5 also, queen f2. Maybe I can do something, but this is still very, very hopeless. My opponent just didn't want to risk. He played bishop to f2, targeting my queen, and now in this case, because we were in time scramble, I was just trying to use all my tricks, and I just took here. Obviously queen take is interesting, and it's of course winning for white, but maybe my opponent didn't see the winning continuation. Whole point of this sacrifice is after check, if their king goes in the corner, now black is winning, believe it or not. This was my last trick. Bishop d5 check, and if any blockade with rook or bishop, rook takes h2 is a checkmate, and they can't move king, they don't have anything other to blockade. So this was my last trick. But how they can easily defend, they can just play this, and that's it. If we take here with pawn and try to promote, they can even play king h1, and on this check they can just block with their bishop, and also they can just play check and then collect the rook, and that's it. But my opponent was confused after this sacrifice, and he also blitzed out the move queen takes g3, so he really played careful because he has a lot of winning options. So after queen g3, I was literally being hopeless here. My move, I think, was queen c5, queen c1, trying to take here, but he played excellently, queen takes c5. Also, there was an interesting sacrifice of the queen and then collecting a lot of other pieces, but there is one problem. This is all good, tactically works, if they don't have queen e5. And I was ready to play this endgame, but when I saw queen takes c5 and regaining the rook, now I don't have enough material to fight back. But if they don't have queen e5, this is possible to play. Honestly, I would like to play this position after all. So even though that was not possible, that's how much he got lucky a little bit here, honestly. So queen c1, queen takes e5. I was trying rook h6 to protect something here, but he just forked me. I was still looking for some tricks, but just everything is hopeless, and after this I gave him to give me a checkmate in style, because by the end of the day he deserved it, because he, after finding the correct defense after I blunder after 94, he literally played like a computer, and it was very tough for me to realize that after this sacrifice of 94, which looks so beautiful, this is actually a blunder. Anything was better, taking on e5, even playing something else like I don't know, but obviously these takes are so natural. So what we can learn from this, besides playing the opening so perfectly and outplaying my opponent, you can't rely only on openings. You have to rely on your middle game understanding, and of course being focused when tactic happens. I was honestly calculating here in this moment, and I was spending 15 minutes here and still blundered after knight takes d4. So I didn't blitz out this move. I saw it in the second, this move knight takes d4, but I was just trying to calculate what about bishop b2 and other ideas, but I didn't see till the end that this is just simple defense. So you see here, even if you are so focused and in this situation I was not being able to recognize that white is defending and he's just staying with piece up later. Sometimes you just need to play practical, and even if it's not maybe the best option, you need to rely on that, because this will give you most probably best practical chances. Yeah, that was first round, and as I told you, despite losing this game, it was painful to me, but my opponent was really great in defense later, and congratulations to him, of course. Usually these games was so painful to me in the past, because I was literally getting down after these games. My whole tournament would be bad after these kind of losses. I'm trying now to recover a little bit, and we're gonna see what tomorrow rounds bring us. So there is no need to get upset about this. And anyway, the analysis is really good to me, to us, and to you, of course. So yeah, we're gonna see tomorrow what will happen, and I'm gonna keep you updated. See you.